The people of the past are still really with us. They are really present in everyday life with us. They may be dead, but they are people we have to deal with. If you read the Adams-Jefferson correspondence, John Adams and Thomas Jefferson had quarreled and hadn't spoken to each other for 17 years, and then Benjamin Rush got them back into a correspondence. They never met again, but they really tried to rebuild a friendship after very bitter years. So they're writing back and forth, and the correspondence is like 800 pages a volume. And they're so alive, and they're just really making an effort to speak to each other. One of them says to the other, "We must explain ourselves to each other before we die." And the other one writes back and says, "Yes, that's what we must do." I read that when I was quite young, and that sentence, that seared me. I mean, I was really knocked over. I was probably 18 or 19 or maybe 20. At that point, I thought, we must explain ourselves to each other before we die. Hold on to that. So at the Center of the American West, I would say that's kind of a bedrock way of steering for us, just to say, if we can reach a resolution, if we can bring people who ordinarily would have been as bitterly opposed as Adams and Jefferson were about the state of the nation, if we can bring them into conversation, if we can do that and somebody can come up with an idea or plan or vision that might actually reduce trouble and resolve a problem, that's even better. But just that people who are in opposition should at least give each other attention while they're on the planet. Well, the person who is really important in this story of Adams and Jefferson is Benjamin Rush, who was a friend of both of theirs, and who did kind of shuttle diplomacy, going back and forth and persuading them to correspond. So we're kind of short-staffed for Benjamin Rushes these days. And I don't know that as a younger person I would have thought I had any inclination in that direction, but I love doing that. I like the adrenaline. I don't want it to be easy. Or I don't expect it to be easy. I might want it to be easy, but I know it won't be. So we try to just, for instance, we brought the former Secretary of the Interior, Stuart Udall, who was Kennedy and Johnson's Secretary of the Interior, and quite a conservationist and environmentalist, though he was in office just when that transition was happening in the 1960s. We brought him with James Watt, who was Ronald Reagan's Secretary of the Interior, and who was, for many environmentalists, well, they're matter and antimatter. It's just a really very opposed thing. So we had 2 days with Stuart Udall and Jim Watt here together. And that was, I mean, when you're going to the airport to pick up Jim Watt and Stuart Udall on the same trip, and you are riding along, you think, whose idea was this? Well, it's Benjamin Rush's idea, sort of. And to see them attempt to not conceal their differences, but explore their differences, that seems like a wonderful thing. And for the center, that is a huge aspect of our pleasure in life.